Hey, this is Jason Kleberg from the Force 5 podcast, a show that forces a guest to come up with a movie-themed top 5 list topic, and then we reveal our picks on air. Top 5 heist films, top 5 tearjerkers, top 5 movie dogs. Every show you'll be asking yourself, what would be on my list? Guests include directors, screenwriters, actors, podcasters, musicians, authors, and even a professional wrestler. Subscribe to the Force 5 podcast, and you won't just be a listener, you'll be a list nerd. The Force 5 podcast, available wherever you're listening now.
Hello, filthy movie lovers. My name is Gentry Austin.
And I'm Casey Scott.
And we're the hosts of the Sin Syndicate, film podcast for something weirdos, anti-criterion bros, and Joseph Sarno aficionados. Join us semi-weekly as we peer into the adults-only theaters and sticky-floored cinemas of the golden age of sexploitation, when the morals were loose, the laws were murky, and the intercourse was all simulated. Find us now on the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
I'm Chris Stachiw.
And I'm Sean Liang.
And today we're going to be talking about one of the 90s most unforgotten films, Dragonheart. But before we get to that film, Sean, let's kick off the stream police today. Give me some picks that you've been watching on that lovely old streaming service known as Netflix.
Good old Netflix. Well, okay. So I tried to kind of go outside of my zone a little bit, and I started watching Gilmore Girls, but I did not realize that it was a completely different series. Well, no, I didn't even get that far. First of all, I didn't realize that it wasn't the original series. I didn't pay attention to that. I just saw everyone talking about it, and I was hoping that I would get into it. But then when I first started watching it, you start hearing quotes from what sounds like a very well fleshed out season of the show. So I was like, oh, this is clearly like a reunion show or something. And I was right. And as soon as the show started, I'm sorry, I'm really going to offend a lot of people, but I really hate this show. I thought it was terrible sitcom. But I appreciate it. I appreciate that some people love it because they grew up with it. I started to look into it a little bit more, but it definitely is a show that sort of was a precursor for shows like Modern Family, like the more, I guess that kind of sitcom style works eventually, but it's not my cup of tea. The very first scene, this guy tries to convince us that he's creating a company called Uber with 3 O's. And after a cheesy joke like that went by, I was over it. So I'm not going to recommend Gilmore Girls. If you've never seen it before, you won't like it. If you're anything like me. I tried to become a fan, but it didn't work. So I'm cutting it cold here. I'm not interested. I appreciate it. For all you fans of Gilmore Girls, have at it. I'm not one of them.
Jesus, that's harsh, dude.
I know. I'm sorry.
I've been seeing nothing but people like, oh my god, I can't wait to see the new season of Gilmore Girls. Like, oh, okay. I've never watched the show, so I have absolutely no stake, no dog in the fight.
I guess that's sort of why I was disappointed, because I'd heard about it for so long, and some of my good friends who like the same shows that I do are really into it, and I was totally unfair to it. I'll be honest, but I wasn't. At the same time, it's just not good enough for me to get hooked into, just in my opinion. It's definitely a show for the fans. So fans of Gilmore Girls, have fun. I won't be joining you on this one. And then I've also watched Mercy, which is a Netflix movie. And I'll read the synopsis because I honestly don't know how to explain this movie. It says, when 4 estranged brothers return home to say their last goodbye to their dying mother, Grace, hidden motivations reveal themselves. And at first you kind of think that it's like a family. The way it's set up is that it's like a family sort of fighting for the inheritance. But it turns into this weird, I don't conspiracy sort of thing that the whole time you're kind of left in the dark, and it's on purpose, and it has a very slow build. Not one of my favorites. It was very confusing. I definitely need to watch it again though. So I would say I didn't have so much of a great viewing experience this week on Netflix, but if you want to defy me, check it out.
What did I watch this week on Netflix? Well, this week I watched one of the classics, Son-in-Law with Pauly Shore, because I hate myself.
Wow.
I mean, Pauly Shore is all right. I think
he's fun.
He gets kind of a bad rap, honestly. Like, I get it. His comedy stylings and his obnoxious voice aren't for everybody. So
I feel like his voice is sort of like time stamped. Like that is definitely
90s
from my childhood. Yeah, absolutely.
The Weezer, it super doesn't translate well to like now. At all.
It just sounds so dated, but it's fun. His voice is like, it's a thing. I like it.
And then I just watched a bunch of stand-up. So just like Colin Quinn, Dana Carvey, Cedric the Entertainer, David Cross. I couldn't really find anything to watch on Netflix, so I was just watching a bunch of stand-up. Most of it's good. I like good stand-up, but man, bad stand-up is bad.
Yeah, you gotta sit. At least you're not in the audience for those.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I'm assuming if someone is in the audience for someone, they probably think that they're good. So
that's true. You're living up the energy, I guess.
Yeah, but I just watched a lot of stand-up. That was really what I didn't really watch a whole lot on Netflix. This week was pretty crazy with with the holidays, and Thanksgiving and Black Friday, and not that that's an excuse, but Black Friday shopping, dude, gotta get those good deals.
That's right. Cyber Monday's still going strong.
Yeah, Cyber Monday hasn't even technically started yet.
Exactly.
As of the time of us recording right now, which is Sunday, the day before Cyber Monday. But yeah,
shit, I'm already getting emails saying that the deals are ending. Are you kidding?
Cyber Monday deals ending now, motherfucker. It's not even fucking Monday yet.
Right? I thought I had a weekend to rest, but nah.
No. You really don't. You really don't. But let's talk a little bit about Dragonheart, shall we?
Yes.
It's something. Film came out in 1996, directed by Rob Cohen. Rob Cohen has directed other films such as Fast and the Furious, Triple X, not the porno film, the film with Vin Diesel. He directed the third Mummy film, which is really garbage. The third Mummy film is particularly bad. The IMDb synopsis for the film is: the last dragon and a disillusioned dragon-slaying knight must cooperate to stop an evil king who is given partial immortality.
1,000 years ago, there lived a man of honor and a creature of legend.
He's the greatest dragon slayer there is. I personally have seen him slay almost 2 dragons.
Haven't had this sort of challenge in some time.
Nor likely to again.
They were 2 sworn enemies.
How do you like the ride so far?
I will rid the world of every last one of you.
I am the last one. If you win, you'll be out of work.
Who formed an extraordinary alliance.
I hope you like it well done.
This knight is no dragon slayer.
We made a bargain, remember? 1 dragon put down, 1 bag of gold.
Well done, Bowen. It's even bigger than the last one.
Actually, it's about the same size.
This time I'll collect the money and you can die.
But when the forces of evil threatened the land,
In your kingdom, Einon, there are worse fates than death. Father!
they found there is no honor
Men like you give people courage and hope.
without risk
I wanted to lie!
and no friendship
For Einon to die, you must destroy me.
without sacrifice.
I go to save the dragon! Who will go with me?
Universal Pictures presents a motion picture that will make you believe. Dragonheart.
Sean, I'm assuming you'd never seen this film before.
Never seen. I mean, it's one of those movies that I grew up knowing about, but never saw it. Never
Right.
saw it.
What do you think about the film watching it for the first time?
I liked this movie a lot. I have to say I've learned, and like this is something that we talked about last week, but as far as like the fantasy genre, I've been very I've been sort of very picky about it, and I've never really been like into the kingdoms and dragons and elves and fairies. But I really like this movie because it's not really just about that. It is about dragons, but this movie feels like it is a total family movie. It is a very, it's almost like a fable. And I like that. I kind of like the sort of mushiness that it comes with. It's kind of sappy, but it's cute. I really liked this movie. It isn't confusing. Like, I don't have to like believe in any of the, like, I guess what I'm saying is like the lore that comes with fantasy is very difficult for me to sort of latch onto. And this one sort of does away with that. And it just keeps it simple with the dragon. It's an interesting kind of movie. It's like, I guess, sort of high concept that we don't see very much anymore, at least in the fantasy. So I liked it. It felt like a movie that I would watch when I was a kid that I don't get to see as much anymore. I liked that. It wasn't anything spectacular. I thought the CGI for the dragon was actually not terrible. As you know, for a movie that came out in '96. I liked it. I gotta say, like, it's a soft.
It was probably pretty good CGI back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I'm sure. I mean, they mixed it with practical effects perfectly. Like, there's that scene where at the beginning where you see like like Dennis Quaid is in the dragon's mouth, and it's very real looking. And I thought about that because I was like, just that one scene, that one little practical effect makes me believe the rest of it. You know what I mean? I thought it was a pretty well done, tight knit family movie. I liked it.
Yeah, I'd never seen it before, but I have friends that, really like it. And I'm not a huge fan of Dennis Quaid, to be perfectly honest. I haven't seen him in much that isn't like a Disney kids film or just like I don't know. I don't know what to think of Dennis Quaid, honestly.
I feel you. I really want to like him, but I have to say that I've been disappointed by a lot of his movies.
But this film isn't good because of Dennis Quaid.
No, I agree.
This film is good because of Sean Connery's performance as the dragon.
Draco.
If this film didn't have Sean Connery as the dragon, I don't think this film would be nearly as good as it is.
That's a bold statement, but you know what? I can see how you would say that.
Because I mean that the dragon is pretty much, it's just Sean Connery. It's not even like a character. It's pretty much just like Sean Connery as a dragon.
Absolutely.
Does that make sense? Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like Sean Connery just has one of those like iconic voices that when you hear it, you're not like, oh, this is him playing a character. No, you're just like, no, this is just Sean Connery.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, this is just the only twist, the only like suspension of disbelief that we have to do is with the dragon. The rest is Sean Connery.
But that's not a bad thing because he brings a lot of gravitas to a film that, I mean, anybody else in the role of the dragon might not have done as well.
Exactly. We know exactly how to revere the dragon just from hearing his voice, Like, I agree.
And like you said, this is a pretty high concept fantasy film. I can't think of a lot of other fantasy films that are this film is pretty high concept.
Yeah, that's what I love about it. It's kind of like it's such a subgenre of fantasy. I really, really like it. Like, it's focused, I think.
And when you look at, the director of this film, who hasn't directed a lot of films that I would say are really good, from like a technical standpoint. I mean, this film has a lot of heart to it. It has kind of a message. I mean, it doesn't really like beat you over the head with it.
Yeah.
And it's got a lot of really well-known actors. I mean, David Thewlis, Jason Isaacs, obviously Sean Connery, David Quaid, Pete Postlethwaite. I mean, these are pretty like high caliber actors. Julie Christie.
Oh yeah.
There are a lot of pretty well-known, well-regarded actors. So there's a lot of like really well-known people involved in the film, and I think that helps make it less of like just like kind of a interesting idea that isn't really well done. I feel like this movie is better than just that. Totally.
I think with movies like as high concept as this, with like a very specific story, it can easily get lost in the performance and even the directing. I think it was one of those movies that came together. I'm looking at the cast list, and it's actually, it might be because it's 96, but it's relatively small. Like, I like that. I think that it's focused and it came together in the right way. And like, I wanted to mention, I don't even know, this might be jumping the gun, but like the composer, like Randy Edelman, the composer, with that theme song that is straight out of my childhood. You know what I'm talking about?
You mean the theme song that was in every trailer known to man in the 90s?
Yes, that's what I'm...
And the thing is, it originated in this film.
That's what kills me. That's why I'm like, oh my God, that's why I can't believe that's probably the best thing about this movie for me, is that the score scored my whole childhood and I never saw this movie.
It really, you did kind of jump the gun a little bit, but you're right. The score for this film, most people will never watch this movie, but they will hear that music.
They will know what that is. They've heard it before. Uh-huh. Exactly. And I think part of it, I'm not going to, Chris, I totally cried at the end, but it's because
I am not surprised by that at all.
You know, but it's because that score comes in and it's so perfect. And I wish that there was still music like that. And I can't think of any a composition that is used so much the way that was. You know what I mean? I feel like it was probably in other movies too. I don't even know, but there's just, maybe it's just a nostalgic thing, but I thought that was really fun. I really loved the score. I love that we heard it so much as a kid.
Well, and like you said, of all the things to come out of this movie, that is really surprising. That is one of the big things to come out of this movie is that score.
Yeah.
Right?
It's uplifting. It's good. It is surprising that it started here.
It's generically yet iconically 90s.
Yeah. That's what it is.
Yeah. And the film itself, it drags in a lot of spots. In between some of kind of I would say the rising action.
Yeah.
It's pretty well paced. But when you get to the second half of the film, it seems like it drags.
Yeah, I definitely feel like it has difficulty finding direction at the midway point, because for a while, I mean, I don't know. I think right when they get to their little scheme that they come up with Draco and Dennis Quaid Bowen, the knight, when they're pulling off this scam, this con where he's basically stealing from these villages to make them believe that he's killing this dragon because he's the last dragon. And at that point, it starts becoming a little I think that's when it started to drag along, because it's where is this going?
Well, and that was my issue. My real issue with the film is that it is just a very poorly paced film.
Yeah, totally.
And for a film like this, I'm assuming that this is supposed to be a children's film, a family film. I don't know. It feels like a film for kids, but
yeah,
it isn't really. I mean, you have the character of Einon, the king played by David Thewlis, who tries to rape Dina Meyer's character.
Yeah.
And he's just a total piece of shit the entire movie. So there's a lot of adult stuff going on.
Those are the sort of things that sort of flew under the radar though when we were kids. These things passed, as family movies.
You're completely right.
I mean, I agree. It's definitely got some, I guess, a little more dark or mature subject matter, but it's definitely kind of buried in there the way it used to be when we were kids, which is what I love about it. It's not really, because it is I would say it's definitely for at least younger audiences. You know what I mean? Maybe
right.
Not little kids, but definitely for kids, older kids. And I don't know. I just think that's kind of what I love about it. It kind of works for a whole family. They really nailed those 4 quadrants. But then I kind of with the pacing, you kind of don't see how Einon's character, sort of King Einon, becomes this tyrant. All of a sudden, he's just a tyrant. I mean, I think they kind of lay those clues in there pretty well when he's a kid. But it was a little strange that suddenly, we're talking about pacing, but suddenly we have this tyrannical king who's worse than his father, and I only know that because I kept watching, or because I read, the synopsis. But there isn't much of a build there, you know what I mean? And you need those scenes where he might possibly rape Kara, or where he kills her father. We need those moments to really build this tyrant in such a short amount of time.
Well, and that's the thing with this film, is that it's so poorly paced and so strange that it jumps all over the place time wise, from the beginning of the film to later in the after
12 years later.
Yeah, 12 years later, you don't really get a sense of the characters. Especially not David Thewlis' character.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
oh, and he's just a bad guy, all around bad guy.
Right. And even Bowen's character, because like he's now transitioned into this like dragon hunter who's like spiteful about what it's done to King Einon, but it's not very clear right away. You know what I mean? It's
it's also a little strange that he just comes to that conclusion
exactly
out of nowhere.
Exactly.
Right?
Based off of that one interaction from the very beginning of the movie. Just off of that one
it's your fault, Dragon. Like, what? I didn't get
and it was quick because not even like 10 minutes before that moment in the movie, he was offering his complete service to the dragon. So it's kind of like, it was very quick. It was some of the things, I guess the plot elements were kind of forced, I guess.
Well, and let's be honest here. One of the big things in the film that cracks me up is the fact that he didn't recognize the dragon's voice.
That's what I was going to say. Like, come on, are you kidding?
Right.
I knew exactly. Like I don't know why it took so long for him to realize, but yeah, that was strange. I agree. That was convenient.
It's a little like head scratcher. Like, really? You really couldn't like pick up that was his fucking voice.
You didn't even like guess, like maybe even have a hunch, like.
Oh, you're the dragon. Like, oh.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he is. He totally sounds like the dragon from the beginning of the movie, man.
Right. He even had that conversation about you in the old code, and like, how did you not draw the lines together? The points together.
Because his character is not that smart, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what other explanation there is. Movie convenience.
Yeah, that's what it is. Just to drag out the story a little bit longer.
And we've talked a little bit about Sean Connery as the dragon. Obviously, this was probably a pretty easy payday for Sean Connery. He was never on set. He just did his
probably did that all in the weekend.
Yeah, he probably did it in a studio over the weekend. But we've talked about Dennis Quaid a little bit. I don't like Dennis Quaid as leading man.
Yeah, I agree. He's kind of, I want him to be like
charismaless.
Yeah, it is. He's kind of like I kind of want him to be like the dad, but it's only because he's like the annoying dad who isn't as I don't know.
That's what his role. That's what he plays now.
Right.
Like Parent Trap Dennis Quaid.
Yeah, that's right.
But in this movie, we're expecting him to be like this knight leading man. It's just like, I just don't believe it.
Yeah, Dennis Quaid has always been so almost that it's never been, I don't know. Like, I really want to like him. He's like handsome. He's like, but you're right. It's just a drained charisma. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing. He had like this weird dialect in this movie, I gotta say. That was a little strange.
Yeah, I don't like him as it's not that I don't like him as an actor, but I don't think that he's a caliber actor that is leading man.
Yeah, I get that.
Because he has to carry this film. Besides Dina Meyer's terrible wig and David Thewlis' even worse haircut.
Oh, man, yeah.
I do find it funny, though, that David Thewlis, who played Remus Lupin in Harry Potter, is the king in this film, and Jason Isaacs is Lucius Malfoy in Harry Potter, and he's in this film as well.
Oh, my God, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, Jason Isaacs he looks completely different. I mean, this is like 15 years before Harry Potter.
Plus, he doesn't have that blonde wig.
Well, you love that too. I guess this is 15 years before Harry. This was like 3 years before Harry Potter, because I think Harry Potter came out in 2001, so this is 5 years before Harry Potter.
That's true.
He wasn't in the first one anyways.
He was in the second one, yeah. That's right.
And David Thewlis wasn't until the third one.
Okay. That's right. That's right. That's okay.
But, this movie has a lot of really good actors that I really wish were given more to do than Dennis Quaid.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, because even Jason Isaacs, like his character in this movie is kind of falls to the wayside a lot.
Completely underutilized.
Yeah.
Well, and then you also have Brian Thompson, who I really love, but that's because I'm a huge fan of the X-Files. And he's always great in everything I've ever seen him in, and he's got a really well-known visage, like his face, his profile. Yeah. And I just always remember him as the bounty hunter, the alien bounty hunter from the X-Files, and he's given nothing to do in this film.
Yeah.
That's the real issue. There's not a whole lot of conflict in this film because Thewlis, Isaacs, and Thompson aren't given much to do. Hell,
exactly.
Pete Postlethwaite isn't given much to do. He disappears for like a half an hour.
Yeah, and that's so true. That's true. I mean, part of that is in the weird structure of the story. I mean, like in the opening, I want to say like half hour of the movie, we're not really sure who our protagonist is. You know what I mean? It's not extremely clear that Dennis Quaid, the knight, is our protagonist. You know, I honestly, for that opening sequence, I really didn't know where it was going to go, you know? And after doing that, you know, we see characters like with like Brian Thomas, and we know that there's going to be something there, but it's put so on hold until the last minute that you completely forget. At least I forget about these characters.
On top of that, the film really wraps up super quickly.
Yeah, it does.
Because from the time that Dennis Quaid finds out that Draco is the one who gave the king's son at the beginning of the film half of his heart,
right,
to when the film ends is like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's coming quick. It's beat over.
Yep.
And then they wrap it up with Pete Postlethwaite's like narration as the outro for the film.
If you're not paying attention, you don't even realize that it's him too. Like you have to. It's only in like the way he says it that you know, who that is that's speaking.
I'm kind of glad, kind of confused as to why they tied all this back to Arthurian legend.
Yeah,
that felt really strange, as like a strange choice. I mean, I understand it from like a trying to tie it all back together and kind of give some background as to what like the old code is and what that's based off of, and people kind of automatically understand Arthurian legend. But that felt like a strange thing to just be like, oh yeah, and by the way, this all takes place in the same universe as like every King Arthur legend.
Exactly. And it wasn't even until they're in like that the Knights of the Round Table tombs that we even like it's even relevant. Like they didn't even have to make it relevant. Like
no, they did. You're right.
You know.
They said it a couple times for whatever reason. I don't know why. And then you're right. Then there's this part where Dennis Quaid has like a vision of Arthur, and Arthur speaks to him. But it's completely unnecessary and adds nothing to the film.
Yeah, no, except for that it marks it as a real like
and
as a canon
down the film.
Yeah, it's like. Yeah, it lost me there, so it's like it's totally unnecessary, but they really just wanted it to be a part of the canon, I guess.
Well,
in that universe,
it really slows down the film.
Yeah,
I mean the film's already slow enough as it is, and the film already kind of drags as it is. But then that whole scene where they're in I guess it would be like a graveyard, and all of that is going on where they're like Draco lets Dennis Quaid know that he is actually the dragon from the beginning, and then he goes to that tomb. It's completely unnecessary. It doesn't need to be that long.
Exactly.
I do like the idea of the dragons going into the stars, and
yeah, I thought that was cool.
Doesn't feel fully fleshed out as an idea.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something that's mentioned, but honestly, if you're going to do that, I buy it. You know what I mean? Like, we don't need the backstory of like the old code. Like, I get it. I get it enough. I want more. I want more of the mythology of the stars. You know what I mean? I think that was a really interesting, and I liked it. Like, I don't know. I got it, but I feel like it was kind of all over the place because we have these two different mythologies.
I honestly wish there was more of the like the Skin Game-esque stuff that was going on with Quaid and the dragon.
Yeah.
I wish there was more. Cool. I wish that was the whole movie.
Yeah.
Like
they just started there,
and they piss off the king, and they end up just like pissing off the king because they're running these cons.
Right. That would be a great place to start this movie, because then we know exactly what kind of movie this is, you know, and like all the problems that opening sequence does, it kind of gets rid of it all, and we can still have the same exact movie.
Yeah, without this like weird like tie-in to the beginning of the film where David Thewlis' character almost dies, and the dragon, the heart. I get that that's why the movie's called Dragonheart. I get that that's like the big. I get that that's the big kind of push, and the kind of the undercurrent of this film is the Dragonheart thing.
But you can still have that. I think that's cool.
Right.
Maybe
you can do it.
We didn't need the origin story.
Without everything else, you could totally.
Exactly, and like that's kind of fun because then that's actually more interesting about the King Einon story, because it's a little bit more of a mystery, and we get to find out through, you know, I don't know. I think that I'm getting excited about your idea.
Well, it's because it's an inherently more exciting idea than what they did.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like a generic revenge story with the dragon tacked on top of it.
Yeah, exactly.
But I I like Sean Connery as the dragon. I think that's like the one really redeeming thing about this whole film. Is Sean Connery as the dragon.
Yeah, definitely that in the score.
Well, yeah.
That's a given.
Well, that too, but for you, obviously. I mean,
yeah, for me.
for me, it's take it or leave it, but I completely understand. But Sean Connery as the dragon is the only reason to watch this film for me.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely not for Dennis Quaid running around.
Dennis Quaid running around it's not much.
Yeah. The sword fights, there's like 3 of them, I guess.
Well, that's the other thing. I mean, I don't know. This movie, I guess, is supposed to be like an action movie on top of everything else, but there's not a whole lot of action.
Yeah.
Right.
The only action comes from like him training at the beginning, and then the CGI dragon flying and crashing, which is cool, and like the blowing fire.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, the CGI was good for the 90s. It's better than a lot of the films that we've seen recently that have that were from the 90s.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say they're like Jurassic Park level, but they're not like level of like Spawn.
Yeah.
Which is like the film that's like the film that I always think about.
Yeah.
When I think about like bad movies from the 90s with bad CGI is Spawn. So,
yeah, no, it's pretty, I mean, for a movie where the whole thing is,
the whole movie hinges on the CGI.
Yeah, exactly. So it has to be presentable.
Well, I mean, it doesn't have to. We've seen a fair amount of films from the 90s that don't.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So,
I mean, ones that have to stand the test of time. I mean, I think this one does. It does pretty well.
Yeah, it does a good job of presenting a dragon that's not like believable. It's believable enough.
Yeah.
Right? It's not that's the thing. Like you said, the creature has to be good enough to get them through the entire film.
Exactly.
Without looking like super silly.
Yeah.
And thankfully it doesn't look super silly. It looks okay.
Right. It's passable. You know what I mean? It's enough to not take you out of the story.
Yeah. And it doesn't really take me out of the story. Nah. There are a couple scenes where it looks a little iffy.
Yeah, a little questionable.
Yeah, a little, but not enough where I'm like, well, this is terrible.
Yeah. So. I agree.
Well, Sean, skip it or watch it in best performance.
I definitely say watch this one. I'm glad that I watched it. I'm because I missed it when I was a kid. It's a watch. I'll say it's a soft watch. It's not like you definitely need to see this movie, but it's a good one. It's cute, and it's a kind of movie that honestly we don't really get to see as much anymore. Because this is a pretty low budget movie for the kind of movie it is. I would say this is more of a moderate level movie, which we don't see as much anymore because of Netflix and because of the big tentpole movies like the Marvel movies. So we kind of lost this middle ground, and I think we get some really interesting stories out of it. So I say watch it. Best performance. Oh man,
that's the thing. There's not really like a good human performance in this movie.
Yeah, it's nothing. I mean, and that's not really, if I'm being totally honest, why this movie's good. Okay, I will say, because I know Sean Connery made this movie. I'm gonna have to say Sean Connery as Draco. I mean, it's an obvious choice, but I mean,
well, no, he's the best part of this movie. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not sure that there's a question of that.
Yeah, no, I don't. I feel kind of like a cop out saying. I really like Dina Meyer. I love her, but it's funny because I didn't even recognize who she was until you said that.
Even with her terrible wig.
Even with the terrible wig, with the hair fire. Yeah, I liked her.
That wig is terrible.
Yeah. What do you call her? A mud pie? I don't know. Anyway,
whatever that wig is supposed to be, it's bad.
Someone should be fired.
Yeah, that wig is like next level bad.
Next level. I didn't even recognize her because of it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It is quite bad.
Yeah.
For me, it's. I'm with you. It's like a light watch. Like, hey, if you're looking for something and you've watched all the Lord of the Rings movies and some of the other like early 2000s fantasy films, maybe pop this in for an afternoon. I mean, it's an hour and a half. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not super long. But it's not a movie I would go out of your way to watch. Best performance in the film, I don't even think there's a question. Sean Connery, obviously. There's not a question of that as far as I'm concerned. He's the best.
I totally agree.
He's the best part of the film. There's not a question.
He is the film. What are you talking about?
Yeah, no, you're right. He is the best part of the film. He is the film. He's the only reason that this film still exists and people think highly of it is because Sean Connery is the dragon.
Yeah, totally.
So there you go. What do you think it has on Rotten Tomatoes?
Ooh, good question. Maybe I'm gonna say a 48%.
50% on the dot.
Ooh, I was close. Okay. Interesting.
There is no critics' consensus. However, some of the reviews, USA Today, this mildly engaging castle-storming adventure is best pegged as a family comedy. New York Times, seeing a large CG dragon talking like Sean Connery is mildly disconcerting. What's weird is the big lizard actually kind of looks like our beloved bald Scotsman. They're not wrong.
Some people didn't like that. That's the reason I liked that. So I guess, that's a matter of opinion. Yeah. But it does. I mean, I agree with what he said ultimately.
Well, before I talk about next month's theme, because it is about to be December and we are switching gears and moving on to non-fantasy films, even though we barely did anything for November, unfortunately, due to the holiday season getting in the way. Sean, anything you want to plug? Anything you can plug?
Not yet. Very soon. But as always, you can follow me on Twitter. I'm Seanifer. And on Facebook, I'm Sean Liang. Happy holidays.
And you can follow me on Twitter at Kulturestash. And if you're looking to listen to some more Culture Shocked Kulturecast, head on over to cultureshock.com/Kulturecast to listen to 100 plus episodes of the Kulturecast. We also live stream each podcast at Mixlr, mixlr.com/cultureshocked to listen to us gab in real time. You can actually participate and message us in a chat room on there as well if you want to harass us and let us know that we're doing a terrible job. Patreon.com/culture_shocked is where you can go to kick a couple dollars our way. Every little bit helps to keep us afloat on this ship known as Kultureshocked.com. Wavoka.bandcamp.com is where you can check out the dudes who make the intro outro music for the Kulturecast. That song is Lament off of their album Saros, Saros. Next month, we're going to be talking about video game movies in preparation for the Assassin's Creed film, which undoubtedly will be probably bad. But we're going to be talking about video game movies, otherwise known as a genre that in and of itself is just pretty bad. We're going to kick off the month with a film that actually I think is quite enjoyable in a goofy way, Doom, with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Carl Urban. So we'll be talking about that on Thursday, and make sure to check that one out.